are back.
All right.
I
Fraidy
see.
Geeks 2.0. Me,
Let's-
Dan, and Scott. Dan, go ahead and start us out.
Whoa, shit, that was quick. Are we doing any promos or anything?
Oh, I guess I could say that today's podcast is brought to
Yeah.
you by Audible. Just go to audibletrial.com/3geeks for all of your audiobook needs. Over 180,000 titles to choose from on Audible, ranging from horror to comedy. You can get Benedict Cumberbatch reading you some Sherlock Holmes, or pick up the latest Clive Barker book, which I don't think he makes books anymore. So, yeah, that's a thing. And Stephen King just released a book, so check that out.
I think he does still write books. I don't know.
He makes bad video games.
Oh, well, okay. He had a bad video game made. And that does fit onto the show, actually, because it is a horror game.
Well, and then we got Stephen King as well, which is a nice segue into what we're talking about tonight.
Indeed. So, the first movie for today is Christine. And I just dropped my notes, because that's awesome.
No,
All right. Yeah, notes.
What kind of professional production you trying to do here?
Yeah, really. I mean, we are indeed quite professional. We are the Three Geeks Network.
We're trying to be more professional. Dan.
Dropping notes.
Dropping notes, son. All right. Christine was a movie in 1983 directed by John Carpenter. And our synopsis today is brought to you by Jason.
So, Christine,
Yes.
the main character of Christine is kind of a nerdy dude who looks like, they plucked him right out of Revenge of the Nerds. She's like the stereotypical nerdy guy, kind of along the lines of McFly's father from Back to the Future. He's that kind of nerd. His buddy's, a little bit more popular than he is. There's a scuffle. He gets picked on a lot, and he finds this car that he really connects to. And during the course of the movie, the car starts to change him as the car starts to take on sinister powers. And I just realized how funny of a word car is. So, Dan, tell us what you thought about this film.
I really like this film a lot. The first thing that I notice upon rewatching it, like anytime I do, is the soundtrack.
Yeah, I noticed it too.
It starts out with Bad to the
To the
Bone.
bone.
well, the car's coming off the assembly line, and it's just like maiming people left and right. Because, I mean, who doesn't love an evil car? I mean, I don't know. I mean, it just like it catches some dude's hand, with the hood, and then it starts strangling some dude that would dare ash on the seat.
Yeah, don't get your cigar in me, sir.
yes. Now you will die. I love that. Well, both of the movies that we're going to talk about today have like those character actors that you recognize, but you have no idea what their names are.
Yes.
like this has Harry Dean Stanton.
I love Harry Dean Stanton.
We'll get to the other one when we get there. But like there's so many like familiar faces. You're like, oh, it's like an old pair of shoes, It's
like the guy that Bill Murray was given the electric shock to in in Ghostbusters.
Yeah,
I was like, that's the guy.
That's the guy.
The only other movie I've seen him in is that and Ghostbusters.
I like that the car is so damn menacing, and it shouldn't be because it's a beautiful car.
The Plymouth Fury.
Yes, 57 or 58, depending on who you listen to. But there were only like 30-some thousand of those. They're not 30-some, like 3,000 something of those made. So they couldn't really find one for the film. So they just kind of cobbled together other cars. But yeah, I mean, all in all, this is a cool flick. Like the character progression is cool because Arnie is just like a sad nerd at the beginning, and then he turns into like a complete dick about how because that's character progression for you. Scott, what do you think?
I enjoy this film in a different way than I enjoy The Thing, because to me it's just pure camp, and that's right up my alley in a lot of ways. But yeah, I enjoy this movie a lot. It's a movie I didn't see until a little bit later in my life, whereas The Thing I saw a little bit younger. So it was interesting. Like, oh, this is both directed by the same guy, and then of course it all like kind of fit together. And of course, I love the Futurama parody of this movie as well.
Nice.
So that's something else that, like, when I saw this movie, I was like, oh, that's where a lot of this was referencing. So yeah, no, I enjoy this film, and it's just a lot of fun.
Like Stephen King, like between like this and Cujo, like Cujo is believable, but I think it's kind of boring just because it's a dog. You know, it's not as bad as Jaws, where you could just stay out of the water and then you miss the whole movie. But I mean, it's an angry dog, and you're stuck in a car that doesn't run, and it sucks. But that's an hour and a half I have to watch you do that. This at least, I mean, the car is more fantastical, but it's mobile, so it's more fun.
Yeah.
Anybody got anything else?
Yeah, this is actually the first time I've seen either of these movies. And
Really?
I honestly thought I was going to hate Christine because it sounded stupid. But a car that kills people? Come on. No, I love Christine. It is now one of my favorite horror films.
Whoa, I wouldn't go that far, but okay.
I'm a fan of the camp too. And I love the camp that this movie delivers.
I really like the parts where the car builds itself back up.
Yeah.
That is great.
The end when the grill starts to twitch.
Yeah,
it's just like such a classic horror trope. It's like,
where's the Christine franchise?
Yeah, the Christine cinematic universe.
Oh yeah, that'll get ruined. We'll just give that to Michael Bay, and everything will blow up. like the car just starts doing like twists off a ramp, and it's blowing up shit.
Just a transformer.
Fast and Furious 10. Vin discovers Christine in a junkyard, builds her back up.
I mean,
and
I would watch
goes on a
that.
murderous rampage and destroys his family.
I would watch it too, but I wouldn't feel good about watching it. All right, we doing ratings out of Geeks?
Sure, 2 out of 3.
Easy too.
Yeah. I also agree. 2 out of 3.
It's only 2 out of 3 because I don't think I could recommend this movie to Max. I think this is more of a like in horror kind of thing.
If you're into like horror movies, like, and especially John Carpenter films, then yeah, it's an easy recommendation. But
fair enough. I mean, Max never enters into it when I give a 3 Geeks. Maybe I don't know. I never actually thought about that. Anyway, all right. Movie number 2 is, we're keeping with the John Carpenter theme, so The Thing. The Thing was released in 1982.
Yes.
Is that right? Yes, 1982. And it is one of my favorite, like, just films of all time. Not even horror films.
Yeah. Agreed.
Scott, your turn for a synopsis.
All right. So The Thing is about an Arctic research station, or it's in Antarctica. It's not Alaska or something. Yeah, I think they filmed in Alaska. But anyway, so it's an Arctic research station, and one day this dog starts running through towards the base with this helicopter filled with non-English speaking people chasing after it and shooting at it. And so they of course have no idea what's going on because they can't communicate. So they kill the helicopter people and take the dog in, and it turns out the dog is not quite what it appears to be. And then things just go downhill from there.
But what is the dog?
The dog is an alien. From another planet, but so yeah, it's been stuck on Earth for a long time, and it's trying to rebuild its spaceship, but it's like kind of a shapeshifter where it can inhabit. It doesn't really inhabit, but it'll eat people, and it can like take on their form, and so it can like become a human or a dog based on what it needs to do to blend in. So yeah, there's this whole cat and mouse aspect of the film where you're not sure who's really human and who's potentially the alien, which I think is even more interesting than the fact that there are lots of times where the movie never explicitly tells you, and it ends on a big cliffhanger where you're still not sure who's necessarily a human or not. So, which
Yeah.
I enjoy a lot. I enjoy subtlety and nuance when it comes to this kind of thing, and I think it delivers that in droves.
I do as well. And one of the things to bring it back to Christine in this is that neither one really has a happy ending, because like with this one, you don't know. Yeah, you don't know where the thing is now. And I love movies that don't end necessarily happily.
Yeah, I enjoyed the films that have the stones to kind of, give you a little bit more to think about, other than, oh, we won the day and we beat the thing and the monster's dead and blah blah blah.
The ambiguous ending.
Yes, because you're not sure if they're both human, if one's infected, if they're both infected.
There are tons of fan theories on that, and it's kind of neat.
Oh yeah, there's this really great film analysis channel I watch on YouTube, and he's got so many video essays on the thing and all the minor little details and theories and stuff like that.
JT, it's your first time seeing this. What did you think?
I liked it. It started off a little slow for me, but it was kind of world building and just getting you into the characters and what was going on. But I really liked it. I really liked the practical effects too.
Yes, you cannot talk about
really
this movie without talking about the practical effects.
It almost reminded me of some of the stuff I've seen Cronenberg do and some of the stuff we've done in the past.
Mm-hmm.
But there's no stomach vagina. So
no, there was no stomach vagina in this movie.
There's a chest tooth vagina.
Yeah, it's not the same though. I mean, you don't reach into it and get a gun. You see,
that's true. You reach in and get your arms bitten off.
Yeah. I mean, that's not as fun. But maybe that's because he's not James Woods. But yeah, there are two things I really love about this film. I mean, apart from the rest of the film, and that's I love Kurt Russell's hat when he gets in the helicopter.
His little cowboy hat.
Yeah, I mean it's a cowboy hat, but he flops the front and back up, and that just makes me laugh every time. and B, it has Wilford Brimley as a like a side character. If you're old enough, you'll know the old Quaker Oats commercials, or the newer ones about diabetes.
The diabetes medication.
Yeah, and it's funny to see him just go ape shit on a bunch of machinery with an axe.
Yeah, when he's smashing up the communications array.
That is awesome.
Yes.
But yeah, the practical effects in this are spectacular. I mean, even now.
Mm-hmm. It holds up so well.
Yeah, even when like the creature is like underground and it's got like tendrils whipping around. I mean, if they did that now, or like 20 years after the movie came out, I guess you'd have like awful CGI things, flying around.
That absolutely did happen.
Yeah. Oh, did it?
Yeah. Did you ever see the prequel?
I did not.
Yeah. So, from what I've read, they were originally going to try and do a more practical effects driven approach, but I guess the studio was like, it's way cheaper to do CGI. So do CGI, and it just came out looking really terrible. Like yeah, look up some clips of the newer prequel on YouTube. It's so awful in terms of the special effect. Like, the Thing transformations in this are so gory and creepy, and just like the weird CGI, it's like no impact at all.
That's why I never saw that, is because that's what I was afraid of. Like, hey, look, it's a great film. We're gonna ruin it now. But yeah, like the practical effects are so good, and there's some damn freaky shit going on.
Mm-hmm. Like
one of the guys' heads falls off, and it just sprouts spider legs and wanders off. That's so good. I mean, I kind of want to pet one of those. It could just like run around the house. Like, hey, buddy, how's it going? Feed it a banana or something.
I think Dan Winston collabed on some of the special effects as well.
Yes,
I think this was I know he didn't lead. He wasn't heavily involved, but I know that he was around.
Yeah,
which shows.
Trying to look that up, but it's not there. So whatever. I don't care. We don't use facts on this show. Let's see. Yeah, it does have a giant sense of isolation, like the whole movie.
Hmm.
Like, not only are they in Antarctica and it's freezing cold, but they can't trust any of the guys on the station because they might be the alien. I
Yeah.
mean, the only way to get anywhere it's to pile into Kurt Russell's, you know, little chopper, and he's wearing a funny hat, so you don't trust him. So, so the whole
Well,
thing
plus,
is. Oops, go ahead.
I was just gonna say, well, they bring in the aspect of like the weather, so they
Yeah,
can't really leave even if they wanted to. Because you can't
yeah.
fly a helicopter in blizzard winds.
I mean, the whole thing is by the numbers, but it's by the numbers so well. It's like a finely crafted novel, which I think this is one of the few films that surpassed the novel that it came from.
Have you seen the original?
Yes, it is
Oh.
very, very different. I like that for its own thing, but I mean the thing in the 1950s one is just a big dude who's like a kind of a walking carrot, and he just gets electrified at the end, which it's kind of neat, but it's not the greatest ending. I mean, there's no heads with spider legs or dog heads coming out of weird parts of a toothy vagina monster. It's not as fun as this one, but yeah, I really like this film. Anyone else?
I think I said what I needed to.
Yeah, awesome ass effects, really cool storyline, great acting, Quaker Oats man. That's about it. Scott, score.
Ooh, I kind of got to give this one a 3. It's it's such a classic, and it's one of my all-time favorite movies. It's probably in my top 5 horror movies of all time as well. So it gets a 3 from me.
I'm going 2 out of 3 again, just because I don't know if I would recommend this to everybody, but I know that I would definitely recommend it to fellow horror fans.
Yeah.
I'm going to go with a 3 because I would recommend this to everybody, and if you don't like it, there's something horribly wrong with you. So,
Trying to make up for the fact that it was such a box office flop because people wanted happy alien movies and not.
Well, yeah, but I'm sure it made its money back in the millions and trillions of rental fees, and then I mean I bought this movie 3 times myself, so I'm sure it made something.
Well, it came from the place where people wanted to see happy endings, not ambiguous endings.
Yeah.
like literal happy endings, like.
Yes.
I don't want to have to think when I watch a movie.
Who wants to think?
Yeah, thinking is dumb. That's how you get the new version of Rollerball and not the old one.
Ugh, that movie. Anyways, if you are watching us on YouTube, or I guess listening to us, you can hit that subscribe button, leave a comment. If you're listening to us on iTunes, awesome. Thank you so much. Please leave us a comment, review, rate, all of that fun stuff. Helps us out a lot. Check us out on Facebook. We do a bunch of podcasts. We have Animaniacs, Fraidy Geeks, Podcastalypse now, 3 Geeks podcast. Yeah, we're growing, expanding. So definitely like all of that and share it on all your social medias.
And if you really like us, can we do the Patreon yet or no?
We're kind of
all right.
Okay, we're really gonna push for Patreon this weekend, but we are on Patreon. It's not so we can make money because we're not going to. This is more so we can make what we put out there a little bit better by, giving Dan $10 so he can go see a movie, or getting better software. See a movie. So we don't have as much lag and we can control more of what we do. So definitely check us out on Patreon.
Dan will just spend that money on bad anime and make me and Max watch it.
Hell yeah! Why go see a movie when I can share something awful with you guys? I mean,
yeesh.
All right, and I think that wraps us up for the first episode back for Fraidy Geeks.
And on the next episode of Fraidy Geeks, you'll get to know the geeks a little bit better. We'll talk about our horror backgrounds are. And we'll have 2 new movies to review for you. We're going to try to do this bi-weekly, right, Dan?
Sure, that sounds great.
Twice a month, you'll get us. So
News to me, but I'll run with it.
Have a great day.
All right. See you, everyone.